Rain Smith hits a three off a set play right out of halftime. Coming down the next possession, Chucky Hepburn hits 2 free throws in a row. Coming down the next possession, Javon Hadley hits a three. Let's see. Then we skip to 16:22 left. Chucky Hepburn hits a jumper. Then Terrence Edwards hits a jumper the next possession. And then Abubakar Traore makes a layup after the under 16 timeout. Like, it was just every time down the floor, they're either scoring or getting a fantastic shot. Does the date December 14th have any significance to you?
First time I felt joy, pure joy in a while.
I don't think it was that date specifically.
It wasn't that one?
No. It's a good guess though.
Okay, what is it?
December 14th is the last time that Louisville basketball lost a game, which is pretty nice because as we sit here, it is January 15th, which means that it's been over a month since Louisville lost a basketball game, which is pretty damn cool if you ask me. Starting 502 podcast, Preston Meyer, Jay Cook. Somewhere along the way, Roman Kelly will be joining us. Apparently, Roman got a dog, and I had to learn this over the radio today. So now he is apparently out watching said dog. But I need to hear the story of how the dog came to be. Apparently, something happened where he found a stray, and now he's taking it in or something. So we'll get that full story. But Louisville just defeated Syracuse 85, right? 85-61.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure I got my numbers right here. And to be honest, I don't know. Did it even feel that close, Jake?
We could have beat them by 40. Like I truly think that. The only time it was close was like the first 10 minutes of the game. We went on that 12-0 run towards the end of the first half, and then after that, it was not even competitive at all.
It was curtains after that, and it was weird to kind of sit back and just be in control of a conference road game against a top 15, top 10 type of program in Syracuse and just sit there for 25 minutes and know with a great deal of certainty that Louisville was going to win and win big. Syracuse, did they throw in the towel? Like, is this the second conference opponent in the last, I don't know, 2 weeks to just throw in the towel against Louisville?
It kind of felt that way. None of them were playing well. A couple of them were shooting okay, but that was about it. The effort definitely fell down. I will say it felt really nice. It felt like the script had finally flipped over what we had experienced the last 2 years. Like what Syracuse experienced tonight was what we experienced for 700 straight days. And
that is so true.
And you're just like, holy crap. Like, it felt weird being in a conference game on the road. And, like, I'm able to go, like, cook for a few minutes because we're already up 26 with 6 minutes left to go. Like, that was just – it's so weird to have the shoe on the other foot.
Yeah, you're just like, sitting back down on the couch, crossing your leg, and you're like, oh, shit, Rain just did 2 more threes.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. All right. Like, it's just like one of those where, I don't know, you're almost watching, like, if you're a college fan and you just have a NFL team that you kind of root for. You know what I'm saying? So, man, it is nice. And there's at least a part of me that it's like an identity crisis, right? Like, number one, just the sense that, like, we know how easily this can be taken away from us now, right? Like, we realize we're not that far removed from just the absolute just depths of hell, right? Like, that wasn't that long ago. I mean, if you look back at, like we said earlier this week, if you look back at, January 15th of 2024, like, what were we doing those days? Like, what were those podcasts like, Jake?
Oh, good Lord. I think I saw something. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I think like this time last year, I can't remember what it was, but we had just lost on the road by like 20 plus. So literally the exact opposite of what we are doing right now.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how much of Louisville's kind of upward trajectory is because of the the quality of opponent, right? Like I'm still a bit concerned about that because we'll get into Virginia here in just a moment, but after the Virginia game, we felt really good. Like that was very cathartic. That was something that we'd not done since the 1990 or something.
Yeah, 1990. I think I was 1999. I think I was like 3 the
Sometime in
last
the
time we had
90s,
done that.
which right there is just inexcusable, right? Um, that felt cathartic in a sense, right? After beating Virginia on the road, but then Virginia goes and looks awful against other opponents, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like the same way after Syracuse. Now you're like, all right, well, they did just they're on a 2-game winning streak, and they're not the worst team in the conference. So like, I don't know. It just felt like any shot that Syracuse had to be in this game, Louisville just took away every opportunity in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I was very impressed, and I mean, obviously, offensively, Chucky played incredibly well. Probably his best scoring night. I mean, he had that one game where he shot like 20 free throws, but like probably his best scoring shooting night of the year. But I thought what was even more impressive was the job that Chucky and Terrence Edwards did on JJ Starling. Like that's a really really good player. Dude is averaging 18 points a game, and they held him to 4 points, forced 6 turnovers, and he shot 14% from the field. And like that was an incredible job. That's Syracuse's go-to guy. So if you stop him like you saw, the rest of the team is not going to function well.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, they yeah, Pat Kelsey said after the game, a guy that made 8 threes in Louisville last season, once again, it comes out and hits 2 quick 3s, and ultimately dropped 18 on Louisville. So he wasn't pleased with that, but it's just like what we've said the last, few after the last few games is that, this doesn't seem like a team that is going to, try to do everything it can to stop the team's best player, right? They're going to, you know, give a concerted effort against every single player, and then ultimately the result is, you know, essentially, let the best player get his essentially. And I think that Louisville did a good job of that against Syracuse. That they didn't let anybody else get hot. They didn't let like you said, JJ Starling get hot. They didn't let. I mean, dude, my guy down low for Syracuse. Why am I blanking on his name? Um,
I was trying to remember it too. He was at TCU for their first run, but I can't think of his name right now. He's a fucking hoss. He's been at TCU and then Colorado and then now Syracuse, but I can't think of what his name is right
Syracuse's
now.
big man. Why am I forgetting this guy's name? Let me
I'll get you here in like two
find it.
seconds.
Let's do this. Is
It's
great
Eddie Lampkin.
podcasting, by the way.
Eddie Lampkin. There are ghosts screaming
Eddie
in the
Lampkin.
background. Yeah.
Yeah. How is that? How is that so difficult? Anyways, Eddie Lampkin. It didn't. The reason this is ironic is because it didn't feel like he was a huge part of the game, right? And we talked about like, okay, Syracuse has some legitimate bigs, and then you know it feels like they were legitimately just not part of the game plan very much. And I don't know if that's a direct result of Louisville's game plan, if that's a result of Syracuse's style of play. I don't know. I have a lot of questions about Autry, Syracuse's coach. Like, there's too many parallels. It's hard to be all over the place here, but there's too many parallels between Adrian Autry and Payne, right? Like, this is a guy that after a blowout loss to a subpar team towards the beginning of the season, he came out in his post-game press conference and he said the word fight 15 times. I'm
Ooh.
talking about Adrian Autry, not Kenny Payne. Um, it's a guy that admitted to not turning in the right scorer's sheet or whatever the coaches have to turn in before the game starts with the starting lineup. He didn't do that right. He fudged it up before a game, admittedly. Yeah, so that's what Syracuse is dealing with. Um, And so
He does already have like triple the wins Kenny Payne ever got in his career. I think it's not triple. I
that's
think it's
true.
actually
That's
double,
true.
but he does have double the wins Kenny Payne ever had.
That's true. Yeah, I think it's unfair to make comparisons,
But
but
that's just to say that there is no one as bad as Kenny Payne. Not that Autry's doing a great job over
sure,
there.
sure. Yeah, I mean, and we can take any sort of obligatory stabs at Kenny Payne when the opportunity arises, right? Um,
They're
Speaking of
always
Kenny Payne,
welcome.
Pat Kelsey has officially passed Kenny Payne in all-time wins. Insert the
I hadn't seen that 100 times on Twitter.
kids cheering meme. Oh, is that actually something? I don't know. I didn't know that was something that was going around on Twitter. My bad.
Oh yeah, as soon as the game was over, I think I saw 2 or 3 different graphics about like I know there was a big one where 13 was bigger than 12, and it was like Kenny Payne 68 games, and then Pat Kelsey 15 games or whatever, 18 games. So yeah, big. I mean, I think everybody knew he would eventually get to that number. I don't think we expected it to be this fast, but it's nice to see that we weren't crazy. That Kenny Payne is just incompetent or is insidious and was trying to tear us down, and I still slightly believe that. So, but yeah, it's nice to see that we got over that hump pretty quickly.
I like how Allen rehashed that today. If you don't remember last season, I guess really going into the offseason, it was very seriously questioned. Like, is Kenny Payne like a UK plant? Like, is he an insider? Um, in all seriousness, thank God we are past that. Thank God we're past that, and we're still not talking about it, Jake. Um, Louisville, stat of the game for you, Jake. But if you're going to pull one stat out of this game, what would you say? Number one that sticks out to you.
I'd say 5 guys in double figures is the biggest stat for me. I mean, I think we all know that Chucky killed it, 24.7 assists, but Terrence with 16, Javon with 13 and 10, James with 10 and 8, Rain with 10 points and a block at the rim, which I literally tweeted. I was like, "Did Rain Smith just block somebody at the rim?"
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
and then I was very quickly told, "Yes, yes, he was." And then Kadir had 8 and 5. So I just the all around ability for everyone to impact the game was really impressive for me.
Yeah, to me, the most impressive stats are kind of the second half stats, right? Like Louisville was to pull away at the end of the first. I mean, they really had, I guess, towards the end of the first half. They were up what 16 at half, right? And then they come out and make it 20 seconds into the second half. Regardless, though, like I didn't think that the game was completely put away. Like there was still a chance that Syracuse could come back, right? And I feel like that second half was really impressive. That Louisville came out immediately and said, "We will not bend. We will not allow this to get, you know, start to creep closer and let Syracuse get back in this game." And I think the one time that it did, Pat Kelsey immediately called a timeout and ended it immediately, right? Like he, put
Mm-hmm.
a stop to it. So, that's you look at the second half, right? So Louisville comes out. Rain Smith hits a three off a set play right out of halftime. Coming down the next possession, Chucky Hepburn hits 2 free throws in a row. Come down the next possession, Javon Hadley hits a three. Let's see. Then we skip to 16:22 left. Chucky Hepburn hits a jumper. Then Terrence Edwards hits a jumper the next possession. And then Abubakar Traore makes a layup after the under 16 timeout. Like, it was just every time down the floor, they're either scoring or getting a fantastic shot. And I think, the stat that stands out to me during this winning streak. We're at 7 games now. Seven's the key number here, Jake, because Rain Smith has landed on what exactly 7 assists for 6 straight games. Am I right about that?
Chucky or Rain?
Chucky Hepburn. Did I say Rain?
You
I
said
said
Rain, yeah.
I said Chucky Smith or something like that the other day.
Yeah, it's been a while. He's had 7 assists quite a few times. I hadn't noticed it's been 7 straight, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, let's look this up. Chucky Hepburn specifically stats. I need to see his game by game. See, I mean, again, great podcasting here, but I believe it was 6 straight 7 assist games. Chucky Hepburn now averaging 5.7 assists per game on the season. Why is this not a full game log? What is happening?
So you're saying next game against UVA, take Chucky 7+ assists guaranteed?
I mean, I will never give somebody gambling advice, but okay, so he has hit since the start of this winning streak against Florida State. He has hit 8, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. So that is 6 straight games with 7 assists. And in the first game of the winning streak, the seventh game, he had 8 assists. He's not had less than 5 assists since Ole Miss on December 3rd. So Louisville's gone, again, just to reiterate, a full month now without losing a basketball game. I mean, Pat Kelsey, Coach of the Year, like is it already signed, sealed, delivered? Like what more does this man have to do to earn not only ACC Coach of the Year, but be in very, very serious consideration for National Coach of the Year?
I think ACC Coach of the Year is 100% locked up.
It's a shoe-in.
I don't think there's
I mean,
there's no other team that's playing as well as us with a new coach, or who sucks as bad as we did last year.
I was gonna say maybe John Shire has a case. Like, here's the thing. I mean, I've heard this conversation a little bit already. Duke going 20-0, like, is that a thing that's gonna happen? It's hard to.
If they run the ACC, then I guess I could see that. I could see him becoming Coach of the Year over PK, but I think that would be like the only way, and that'd just be a narrative thing.
Is Roman Kelly joining us right now?
He's tapping on a microphone.
Check. Hey, fellas.
Check. What's going on? Roman Kelly joins us live here on the Starting 502 podcast. Roman, thanks for joining us. Stat of the game, Roman. Let's go. Stat of the game from Syracuse.
100% free from the free throw line.
How you beat that?
Can't beat that.
You can't. It's literally impossible.
Can't beat that.
Try. You can't.
Is that? Have you all given a stat already? Can I hear everybody else's stat of the game?
Uh-oh. Hold on. Say that again, Roman. You totally
Did I blank out there?
down on my side here.
Did I blank out? Can you hear me still?
I can hear you loud and clear now.
I was just wondering what everybody else's stat of the game was.
Oh, so my stat of the game was the fact that Chucky Hepburn has had exactly 7 assists for 6 straight games. So it's not really the stat of the game, but it's just the fact that
continuation
he did
on in the game. It is. It's a stat from the game that keeps a streak going. I like that. Jake, what was yours?
Yeah, mine was just 5 guys in double figures.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah,
I love that one. Almost 6.
Yeah.
Almost 6.
Almost 6.
That dunk would have turned me up. Abubakar's missed dunk.
Yeah, how about that? And Louisville, by the way, there's one stat that they might be trending super downward on. It's the fact that they can't make freaking dunks half the time these days. What's going on with that? Feels like there's every game that Louisville's played this season, it feels like there's almost a guaranteed missed dunk or missed wide open layup, and then there's almost a guaranteed just like weird ass like 35-foot three after Louisville's played 29 seconds of fantastic defense.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed 2 things during a Louisville basketball game, and those are it. Well, now you're almost guaranteed 3. That Louisville's going to win, and Chucky Hepburn's going to get 7 assists. Like, we're seeing trends here, Roman. And can Louisville win if Chucky Hepburn only gets 6 assists?
I don't want to know. Need to keep it going. Need to keep the streak going. I've got a buddy over here.
Jake, on your end, is Roman coming in really cutting out a lot?
Buddy.
Yeah, I'm hearing like 1 out of every 3 words from Roman, so I'm piecing together what he's saying.
Unbelievable, Roman. Okay.
I just got something at the top that said like checking connection, reconnecting. I don't know why it's doing that.
There you go.
I'm hoping it's...
You're getting closer to back, and I know that because I can see the dog, the famous dog that we opened the show talking about. Can we hear? I really don't know the background. I just turned on my radio today, and everybody's trying to convince Roman to keep this random dog.
Yeah.
Is this what happened? Did you find him on the street?
I didn't. My girlfriend did. She was going to work on Monday morning early near her house. Found him. He had a collar on with like a QR code, no chip. And the QR code had all of his information. Owner's name, owner's phone number, owner's email, dog's name, dog's breed, dog's age. And it said that he had been given shots, but, well, we called the owner all day Monday. Doesn't answer. He finally answers in the middle of the afternoon, and he's like, I got your voicemail. I'm talking to my girlfriend. He got your voicemail this morning. I'm homeless now. I gave my dog to somebody at McDonald's, and I guess they let him get away or let him run off. But I've been trying to rehome him if you could help me. And then, so she took him.
So now it's your dog.
Yeah, she got some information about like Louisville Metro Animal Shelter and what you take him down there and you tell him this, that, and the third, and then they'll help you out with shots. And he has his nutsack still, which is why he's at my house.
Oh yeah,
so
you don't want that.
she has a
Big dog.
she has a 4-year-old Great Dane boy dog who's massive. He's not vicious, but he got vicious when we tried to bring him over. He was no barking. Granted, there's a lot of circumstances there. They've lived at this new place for about a little over a month. He's never had another dog over here. You know, it's dog walking down the steps into his domain. She's in the basement part of this place, or the first floor, which is really the lower level. But so she's a legal foster parent for him. Like, she's a legal Kentucky foster animal parent now for this dog, but her dog doesn't like him, so he's at my house. And I just, as much as he's the perfect, like I've been telling people, I want a dog one day in my adult life when I have a home and a backyard and a fence, not I'm on the 3rd story apartment on 2nd Street. Manual is right there. I'm not prepared. I want to go to Europe this summer. You know what I mean? Like, I want to travel. I want to hopefully next fall be getting asked to go do play-by-play either around the city or around the state, or best case scenario for some network, different schools or something like that. I don't know. You know what I mean? Or go for a school going to all their games. I don't know what I mean. I want to be in a position with work where I can't have a dog. And while I can be in that position right now, I'm trying to approach a position where my sports media career doesn't allow me to be home enough to have a 1-year-old boxer bull terrier mix who, granted his temperament's just perfect. He has not barked one time since we've gotten him. He falls asleep. He goes to the door when he needs to go out.
Chill.
Super chill. He definitely likes girls more than guys, but I haven't had many guys around him. It's just like that Monday we noticed that he kind of warmed up to the girlfriend sooner than me, and then another man that came up about when we were having him. He just doesn't like guys yet, but I don't know. We'll figure this all out. He's gonna try to get his balls chopped off for free from the Louisville Animal Shelter, and once we're done with that, then we'll know. We'll actually be able to pursue getting him a home. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up.
Did we say a dog's name yet?
His name's
Does
Buddy.
Your dog have a name?
His name's Buddy.
Buddy.
His name's Buddy on the app and his QR code, and he responds to Buddy. Buddy does sound similar to Chucky. Now, if I was the legal foster parent, and this is the dog that I found on the road and that I was handling, I'm just letting him crash on the couch. That's all I'm doing. I've got a bunch of blankets on the couch. He's been crashing. He's
literally crashing on your couch.
Yeah, getting fed, getting walked. He clearly is already attached to me. Like, when I walked in from work, he tails wagging, butts shaking with the tail wagging
he's ready to go
at a rate that I've never
now.
seen on a dog. But he's also crying. He's wincing hard, jumping up, touching my chest. The girlfriend came by when she got off work, so it hadn't been like he'd been gone too. It's not like he had been in here before I left for work by himself, but he still, I don't know, needed to go out, whatever it was. He just was so excited to see me. That worries me that he's already got an attachment, or you guys have been taking care of me. I don't want you all to abandon me kind of a thing going on. I don't know.
I have a hopefully very innocent question to ask you. Have you ever had a dog before?
I've had a dog that was considered my dog once. As a kid, 6 years old, I had a Jack Russell Terrier named Billy, who my dad gave away when I was at preschool. I came home, went to preschool, I had a dog, came home from preschool, did not have a dog. Or kindergarten, whatever grade that was. But I have an ex, last 2 ex-girlfriends have both had dogs. One of them I lived with. That was a roommate situation first. It's not like I was a young guy living with a girlfriend, but it turned into a girlfriend, started as a roommate, whatever. That's how it is sometimes.
Mom, grandma, in case you're watching, that's the situation, okay? No,
Fellas,
the reason I ask is because I'm just sitting here, just listening to you talk about a dog, you just...
Yeah, I've just ruined the pod. I've just completely came in here and absolutely sidetracked what the narrative, or what we were talking about was, what the topic of discussion was.
He's completely gone now.
Yeah, I lost him completely.
It said trying to reconnect.
Sorry,
Can you hear
me? We completely... Yeah, we completely lost you there. All I heard was that he was dating a girl that had a dog or something.
Oh, completely lost me. Gosh, that sucks. Yeah, I've had my own dog once, and I've been around dogs, consistently, but I've never been in a position where I felt like my life was suited for a dog. So it still don't really feel like that. So I'm gonna probably go through with the trying to find him a home potentially, but we'll figure it out.
There's no natural way to segue from Roman's dog story to the fact that Louisville just won 7 games in a row, and they're about to be lining up against a Virginia squad for their 8th consecutive victory. And is it weird that I feel super confident about Louisville beating Virginia? I don't know. What do we think, boys?
I mean, I think after what we saw last time, 70-50 victory on the road, can't imagine why you would be super nervous. I mean, we did shoot well. We shot 37% from 3. Virginia did not shoot super well. But I think in general, I mean, we dominated them on the inside. We blocked 5 shots. We out-rebounded them by 10. We had 14 offensive rebounds, 10 second-chance points. I mean, really in every stat category, we dominated them on the road. And playing in Charlottesville sucks ass. Playing at the Yum Center does not suck ass for us. So, yeah, I mean, I don't expect a 20-point victory again, just for the simple fact of it's hard to beat Virginia by 20 with how solid their defense is. But, yeah, I'm never going to take it for granted. I know we're still kind of new to this whole winning games thing, so I won't ever take it for granted. But I do feel pretty confident that if you shut down one of their big three, then we should be perfectly fine.
I'm in total agreement with you, Jake. It's only been 11 days as we sit here since Louisville beat Virginia at Virginia 70-50. But as ACC play goes, you play three teams 3 times, right? Or is it 4?
2 times?
Or 2 times? 4 teams 2 times? Or 3 teams 2 times?
You're just saying numbers.
I'm just saying numbers now. Regardless, Virginia's coming our way, and Louisville is attempting to do something that they've never done, which is perform the sweep against Virginia. I think that's been kind of the shitty part about having a losing streak against a team like this, right? It's not just their bash your head in, just awful style of play that we've been subject to since Louisville joined the ACC. It's also the fact that Louisville's been subject to it twice a year at least, and it seems like they meet them in the ACC tournament a lot. But they've played them at least twice a year for the last 10 years, and Louisville, that's been their kryptonite. Okay? It took freaking, why am I blanking on his name? Not Dangadell. Freaking, what's his name that hit the buzzer beater? Mango Mathiang.
Oh, Mango, yeah.
Hitting a shot just before the buzzer when Louisville was number 4 in the country and Virginia was number 1. Is that right? Or was it opposite? Was Louisville number 1 and Virginia was 4? Whatever. Doesn't matter. That's the last super significant home win for Louisville over Virginia. They had another home win in Chris Mack's second to last season. Just before COVID. But I remember that game being I didn't even want to cheer because I was so nervous sitting there in the stands. I truly did not think that Louisville was going to get over the hump. But that game was the one game in 19 attempts, I believe, that Louisville won. Something crazy like that. Something insane.
Yeah. I mean, they truly were, and maybe still are to an extent. Maybe it's just one off year, but hopefully not. They were the boogeyman for Louisville basketball. The same way we couldn't beat Clemson no matter what we did in football, we could not beat Virginia to save our life. Even what was the game where we were up by 6 or 5 with 4 seconds left, and then they hit a 3. Dangadell gets a violation passing the ball in because he moves after a timeout instead of a made basket, and then they bank in a 3 to win the game. That's close as I've ever came to suicide, gonna be honest with you. That game right there. Yeah, it felt like they were truly our kryptonite. So it is nice to be coming into this game on Saturday and feeling confident and knowing that should be able to stop them as long as they don't hit a ton of threes, or as long as McNeely, Elijah Sanders, and Rhodey don't all 3 go off for them.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think you hit the nail on the head, Jake, that it's the big 3 that Louisville has to be concerned about. I don't think that there's a ton outside of that. I mean, not from, I've not tried to subject myself to too much Virginia basketball, but I think we watched a decent amount of tape heading into the last matchup, and we saw 40 solid minutes of Virginia basketball 10 or 11 days ago. And you're right, it's 3 or 4 guys that are the major contributors, and that's it on this team. I mean, I don't have a whole hell of a lot to add to that, Jake. It's still much of the same as what we talked about 2 weeks ago, essentially, that, Virginia average possession length is 360th in the country. That's not good. They're still a very solid 3-point shooting team, 37th most efficient 3-point shooting team in the country per KenPom. Again, they don't get a lot of 2-point baskets, so similar to Louisville in the way that a lot of what they do comes from shooting 3-pointers. So when you aren't hitting shots what you saw for Louisville versus Virginia part 1 was the result, right? And I think the only way that Virginia stays in this game is by continuing to shoot well, right?
Yeah, I mean that is the only thing that concerns me a little bit is the fact that Virginia did shoot really poorly against us in that first one. They shot in 5 of 26, so 19%, and they're like a 38% on average three-point shooting team because they do have good three-point shooters. So I think that would be the biggest concern is if Virginia comes out and shoots 11 for 24 because they're still not going to ever shoot a ton of threes, but if they knock down 5 or 6 more threes in that game, that's 15, 18 points right there. So I mean, I think that's definitely a way that they can compete in this game. But as long as Chucky is able to probe into the lane the way he was, I think that's the biggest thing against those UVA teams the last few years is like we didn't have anyone that could get past their man and force them to really overhelp and then get open shots, and now we do with Chucky, and that's why we were able to get so many open looks.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm just happy. I'm excited. There's like just a different vibe right now. Like around the city. I think we've gotten back to, I mean, so much of Louisville basketball is culture here, right? Like Louisville basketball is part of the culture in Louisville. And I think you're seeing that return. Like the last 2 years, Louisville basketball hasn't really been small talk in the elevator. Louisville basketball hasn't been something like, I'm just sitting talking to a lady at work today that I have no idea that she likes basketball. And she just brings up Pat Kelsey, and I just love that little man. I just love his little glasses. And me and my husband, we've been going every game. Like, yeah, it's just full on just it's not just the love and re-embracing of Louisville basketball. It's the fact that you're going from it being so bad and completely absent to this resurgence, and you're just feeling the energy around the program, around the city, coming from the players and coaches. I think really Pat Kelsey, he's done a good job of capitalizing off of that energy and kind of turning it into, the spark behind a team that I don't think was necessarily supposed to be here at this point, right? Like tied for second in the ACC. And especially after the fact that you have 2 guys redshirting, you're basically your leading scorer and one of the top 25 50 players in the country goes out with an ACL injury, and your Pac-12 6-man of the year backup point guard goes out for the year, and Kadir Traore, one of the better all-around players on this team, is out for however long, 6-8 weeks, right? Like when all of that stacks up against you, it's not even including that, it's already exciting, but it's the fact that he's been able to captivate the players and the fans and, encapsulate what this city is all about. This sounds so freaking corny coming out of my mouth, but you know what I'm saying, Jake? Like they've been able to capture that energy and really kind of make it into something special. And I just couldn't be more pleased and almost concerned about. I think that my mental health is still tied too much to the fact that this could just be taken away from me so quickly. And I just can't help but just try to appreciate it in the time being. Very quickly, the ACC standings. Louisville tied for second in the ACC standings. So around the ACC, Duke 7-0 in conference play, 15-2 overall. Duke's schedule not much left in their schedule outside of they got Clemson once. They're going to play UNC twice. They'll face SMU. I don't think they're going to go undefeated, but I think that, I'd give them a 9% chance of winning this conference, Jake.
Yeah, I think so. I think their only losses probably come from maybe if they play on the road at Clemson. I'm not sure if they do or do not.
They do play at Clemson.
Okay, so yeah, I think that'll be a tough one. The game at UNC in Chapel Hill, I think will be tough as well. But yeah, outside of that, they're looking at probably max 2 losses on the year. So, yeah, it would be very shocking. I mean, I guess technically we could not lose another game. But, yeah, I think it'll be Duke at the top for sure. But I think we have solidified ourselves as the second best team in the ACC for sure.
Yeah, and I think, if you really break it down in that sense too, like, Louisville is right there. They have every bit as much of a chance, I think, as earning the number 1 seed in the ACC tournament as Duke. I know that might sound crazy sitting here today, but, Duke's 7-0 in conference, Clemson and Louisville right on their heels at 6-1. Overall, Clemson's 14-4, Louisville 13-5. How about Wake Forest? 4-1 in conference, 12-4 on the season. I think we kind of wrote them off early, and really down to Stanford. And Roman Kelly's back. I'm just over here just reading.
Yeah, I had to live bet Stanford when I saw how that.
Are they going to lose? Like, is it legitimately like
they're still up? The second half just started. They're 4 minutes in. They've kept the lead 6-6. They went up in the half up 2, but they were like, I think they had a 6-point lead.
I'm assuming
at one point.
It's at Wake Forest. Yeah, because I mean it's only 7:43 here on the East Coast. But no, I mean you got Wake Forest and UNC at 4-1, SMU at 3-2, Pitt at 3-2, Stanford at 3-2, and then you really get to the kind of the bottom half of the conference. Florida State leading the way at 2-3, tied with NC State and Virginia Tech at 2-3. Notre Dame 2-4, Syracuse 2-4, Georgia Tech 2-5, Cal, Virginia 1-4, Boston College 1-5, and Miami. Oh my God, 0-6. Uh,
Did you watch that Duke game last night?
didn't watch much of it, but I know Duke just absolutely smacked them.
Embarrassing. They were up almost 30 at one point
in the first half.
Yeah, they're up 41-19, I think is what it was at one point.
That's
so I guess
so
that's only 22 points, but it looks
so
like
depressing,
30.
the whole Aranega situation. I know we never got into that, but I mean, dude, what the heck? Like Miami is not lacking in talent. I mean,
No,
I
not
don't
at
think
all.
that they were expected to make the tournament or anything this year, but it's not like they're bad enough to be 4-13 right now. Anyways, not my business. But if you look across this Louisville schedule, all those back half of the standings teams. So if you go from basically, if you look at the teams that are under 500 in conference play right now, Florida State, Louisville does not play again, right? Yeah, they don't play Florida State again. But you have NC State, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, Cal, Virginia, Boston College, Miami. The only team I skipped over was Syracuse, right? Like the whole bottom half of the conference, Louisville has to play. And so I think that the narrative now becomes Louisville has to find ways to, not fuck up, essentially.
Don't
Don't
let
take the
up.
foot off the gas. And we all,
I think it was a good sign against Syracuse. I mean, because that's got
sure,
Chucky written all over
Yeah,
it.
Javon Hadley up 25. Javon Hadley up 25, diving for the ball.
Mhm.
You love
yeah.
that.
Oh, dude. I mean, the play, I mean, what? It was 2:30 left where he like basically dove over the scorer's table to save the ball and bounce. I mean, like the walk-ons are coming onto the floor. And Louisville's like diving into the stands like they're down 16.
The commentator said it like these Louisville guards are playing like it's still 0-0 or like it's 0-0 right now. And I thought that was a good point because they're just out there tenacious. They don't let
And
up.
one other thing before,
But you have to have that mindset about the rest of your
oh
schedule
yeah,
too.
yeah. I mean, and that's I think that's the whole point of this at this point, right? Is like, yeah, I mean, it buys you a lot more if you go to SMU and win because that's going to be another quad one win probably. I mean, I assume they'll stay in the top 75, right? Is it top 75 on the road?
Mm-hmm.
Top 50 on
Top
the road?
50.
Okay, so SMU,
Yeah.
they're going to be pushing it because I think they're right there around 50 in the net. But regardless, I mean, there's nothing else on the schedule, dude. Like, I
We
mean,
got Pittsburgh one more
comes
time.
back, but it's not like I'm not feeling. I don't know. I feel pretty good about Pitt now. Like he pulled out
Hey, so it is top 75 on the road. It's top 50 at a neutral
top 50
site.
neutral.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. So, yeah, to reiterate what was said, though, I mean, you just got to keep on keeping on. Essentially, got to keep the foot on the gas. Don't mess up. And I know that sounds silly and like high expectations, but that's what we're rooting for now, right? Is like we're rooting for the streak to continue. We're rooting for Louisville to seriously push for an ACC championship. Who's to say they can't do that now, right? Like, and then if you really want to build the tournament resume, get that first round bye in the ACC tournament and play a couple of quality teams and beat them in the ACC tournament. I mean, like if you say you go into the ACC tournament as a 3 seed and it end up playing, who would you play? Probably the 6 seed, which would be like, I mean, let's do this. Let's do this real quick. So right now the 6 seed would be either SMU or Pitt. So first round you're getting like probably SMU or Pitt. Next round you're getting either Duke or Clemson or North Carolina. Like you could all of a sudden, like in theory, you could play like Pitt, Duke, and Clemson, or Pitt, Duke, and Carolina, or something of that nature. SMU, Pitt, and Duke. Like you could have those sort
Duke
of
could be
opponents.
last. Yeah.
In a very theoretical look ahead to the ACC tournament. That's the kind of stuff we can talk about now, which is freaking fantastic, guys. And I think to close out the Syracuse game, sorry, I know we've been all over the place, Got Roman coming in and out. We have too much to talk about now. But to close out the Syracuse game, I really feel just I love the fact that we got to watch this game with Syracuse's, big ass football stadium, 80% empty, and all the empty chairs had green shirts in them that everybody just collectively refused to wear. You got 100 of Noah Waterman's families, which you just take, like, you look at that picture of Noah Waterman's supposed family that also included Brady Brum and Dudas and, U of L staffers. It was just funny. But you just like take any screenshot, stop it at any point over top of Noah Waterman's family, and it looks like just 15 slightly different versions of Noah Waterman. Just fantastic to see. You just love it. But yeah, from the fact that you get to see their empty stands and 100 Noah Watermans cheering on the fighting Louisville Noah Watermans, and you get to listen to Michael Carter Williams and
Screw that guy.
Michael Carter, the only guy that could stop Peyton Siva, right?
I never liked Michael Carter Williams. I thought he would be good, like that debut game as a rookie. He has the best rookie debut ever, probably. And then went on to win Rookie of the Year, didn't he? He had a good rookie year, but never developed a real dunk shot.
He was like a Samuel Williamson that could dribble and shoot. Did that sound mean? I didn't mean it to sound mean.
The reason the reason he stayed in the league so long as someone who wasn't ever a real scorer is because he could defend. He learned how to defend in the NBA. So, or not learned how. He always was a good defender. He never stopped being a good defender, but he never figured it out offensively because he can't shoot the three. He's ass. His arms are too
Michael Carter
long.
Williams and old Devendorf on ESPN. They just had to sit there.
Just saying we all day.
He's like the little piggies all the way home.
Terrible.
No, but fantastic, just all around great win. Like you can just sit there and listen to Eric Devendorf complain about how bad Syracuse is, and have to just sit in the fact that his former team's getting mollywopped by Louisville and say nice things about Louisville, and then you go back to the studio and a very different looking Michael Carter Williams is in the studio. Just my wife didn't even know who it was. Like she recognized him once I showed her a picture from college. But how different?
He looks like Ashton Gelati a little bit with that bun right there and the beard. I was like, Ashton.
He does. He's been out of the league for 2 years. You can tell now.
Square ass face, bro. Get a little.
Yeah, the hair is just like, I don't get that. You're now a media personality. Why are you doing the long ponytail? Like, if that's like you don't want to have cornrows while you're doing ACCN work, cool, but then just cut your damn hair.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand the long ponytail. Like, you're clearly in between a hairdo right now, dude.
And just no hiding it. We're just rolling with it.
Not even trying to hide it. You're just gonna, fuck it. I'll go to work like this. Don't you have some money to go get your braids, or whatever it is you think you want? It's because you can't have braids on TV. You'll look dumb.
Do you? Is that just in general? You just look dumb wearing braids on TV?
Name one media personality with braids.
That's true.
Scott Van Pelt.
I mean,
even ex-players, they don't. They keep a clean cut. They keep it, nice and clean. I don't understand. That look was wild.
There was a lot going on, and he was almost unrecognizable. Like if I hadn't had to stare at his face for a lot of his college career, I don't think I would have recognized him.
He articulates himself better than I thought he would, but he clearly was biased. I mean, you just can't do that, Whatever.
Not supposed to do it, but who are we to the very biased people to complain, right?
The podcasting coaches.
I think we put
right now.
Syracuse to bed, and we're about to wake up with Virginia pretty soon here. Any final thoughts on Virginia? I know you kind of missed the whole Virginia thing.
They don't have enough firepower, man. I missed it. I don't know what you guys really got to say about that, but you guys know how I feel about Virginia at this point. I think they don't have enough offense. They don't have enough guys. There's not enough guys that they can go to create offense for them. There's not enough shooting on that team, and the pack line defense doesn't, operate at the same ability it does when Bennett's the one commanding it. So It's also just clearly not this all around top to bottom. It's not Virginia personnel. It feels like it's like I feel like there's 3 or 4 Virginia guys out there with some other guys that ended up on Virginia this year, kind of a thing. But I'm not feeling too worried at all. We went to their arena and handled business, so it's just a matter of doing the same thing here, defending well, taking good shots, not turning the ball over. This is a team that if you feed into what they're trying to do, you will either take bad shots or turn the ball over. So you just can't do that. Stay out of foul trouble, and you're going to go handle them by 15 plus again. 20 maybe if with the home crowd, you should be handled by 20 again. But I don't want to ask for 20-point wins. I just think that if you do those things, rebound the ball well, don't turn it over, and don't take contested bad shots, you have no reason. This team doesn't have enough offensive firepower to hang with you.
Right.
So
absolutely. Jake, any kind of final thoughts as well to kind of put a bow on it?
No, the only thing I was going to say is I know Jacob talked about kind of going over what has clicked during this 7-game win streak.
Oh, yeah.
What happened? Because, I mean, prior to this, we had lost, I think, 4 out of our last 5. Lost to Ole Miss, lost to Kentucky, lost to Duke, lost to Oklahoma. And so I just kind of ran through some numbers to figure out, like, what are we doing
changed
so much better.
what's funny is that we started the win streak off with
a bad win.
Arguably because Florida State. We went to Florida State and handled.
Yeah.
But right after that, we started the win streak off with what was one of our best all-around performances. I feel like one of the best all-around performances we've had. And immediately played one of our worst that we've played all season, at least in a win for sure. Our worst winning performance, I think. And the calendar flipped to the new year, fellas, and these guys just something happened. Something changed a little bit.
Jake?
So
yeah, I mean, I was looking at it because and maybe it's just being caught up in the season. I haven't really noticed anything super different, like just watching it individually, besides the fact that we're winning by 10, 15, 20 now.
Yeah.
I mean, our offense.
Defending well the entire game, every game.
Yeah, our offense, we're scoring 80 points a game, which would put us in the 7. All these stats are within this 7-game win streak, which would put us top 6 in the nation. We're now shooting 36% from 3, which would put us top 75. So that's definitely helped. We're only averaging 10 turnovers a game during this win streak, which is top 25 in the nation. And then we're averaging a positive rebound margin of 9.29 a game, which is top 10 in the nation. Defensively, really nothing like opponents are scoring 68 points a game, which is around like top 80, nothing great. Opponents are shooting 43% from the field, 34% from 3. That's okay. We're not forcing a ton of turnovers, 10.7. The biggest thing that I kind of noticed is we're winning at the 3-point line. We're making on average just a little bit less than 3 more threes each game. So that's 9 extra points a game right there. And then we're attempting 9 more free throws a game than our opponents. So that's an extra, say we make 7 out of 9. That's an extra 7 points right there. So that's 15 points we're giving ourselves just from the 3-point line and then from the free throw line. So it's really where I've noticed it. And then our rebounding, a positive 9.2 rebound like ratio a game is incredible. That's top 5, top 8 on the season. So I know it hasn't looked crazy different, but making a few more threes a game, getting to the line a lot more. I think we're getting to the line like 21 times a game, and our opponents are only getting there like 12 or 13 times a game. And then just rebounding really, really well, hitting a few more threes. And all of a sudden we went from like, maybe we make the tournament to like, fuck, are we a 6 seed?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Louisville's projected at. I saw CBS Sports as Louisville is a 6 seed right now. The all-knowing Joe Lunardi.
Fuck, are we a 4 seed?
I mean, I was going to say, this is now. Like, what can you work your way into? That's my question.
These conversations being real, fellas, I hate to sound like this. I don't know if you guys have said anything like that today or if you've purposely tried not to. These conversations, God, it just makes that burn in my spine that I need.
There's not enough time in the day.
Roman, that might be a tumor.
Yeah, you might have a tumor, Roman.
Probably.
The burn in your spine.
Hey, he feels it. He feels the burn in his spine.
I feel it. From head to toe.
Yeah. Well, guys, let's before we get out of here, let's get some predictions. Get some Virginia predictions. I want exact.
I got
score.
you one.
Okay.
I got you a prediction. I got you another prediction. Hot take here. Chucky Hepburn, 23 plus points. Go bet it. Go take it. He's in that one bag right now. He's feeling himself right now. There's not a defender on Virginia's team that's going to be able to stay in front of him. He's going to continue to shoot the ball after how he's felt after this last game. He got out of that slump he had been in. I'm going to call it a shooting slump, even though he'd still been playing extremely well. He just hadn't been putting the ball into the basket at an efficiency we like. But he's back. He's back in that one bag. So I got Chucky Hepburn 22, 23 plus points. I think that's a prediction just for who I think is going to be scoring the most points and who's going to be out there the most confident shooter. Obviously, there's rain can pop off any single game. You let him get open 2 or 3 times, and it's over for you the rest of the game most likely. But I think we're going to hold them under 60 points again. I really do, fellas. I really think we're going to hold them under 60 points. I think we're going to be in that 65 plus range. I'm sorry. That's what I feel. I'm feeling confident about this Virginia after what I saw. I'm going to cut this game on tonight, Virginia SMU, see how they're looking, see if things have improved at all for Virginia in the last few games or at all, because I haven't watched them since we played them, obviously. So I'm feeling good, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, with that Chucky thing, do you notice PK, like typically on all our ATOs or like sideline out of bounds, baseline out of bounds, all the shots always go to Rain, but yesterday all the shots went to Chucky. Like as soon as Chucky knocked down 2 threes, it was okay. I'm running the exact same shit except for Chucky's the shooter now, and he's wide open every time too. So like I agree with you. I think not only is he shooting well, he will get, if PK so does it, an extra 3 to 4 designed wide open.
Feed the hot hand. I mean, he did it for Noah Waterman against Indiana, like. But it just so happens that Rain Smith,
and for Florida State,
I trust Rain Smith to trust Rain Smith to watch my kids. I trust him to I don't know, trust him with my finances. Rain Smith looks like a dude that you can trust with your finances, 100%. And then he'll give you everything in that bag. I'm gonna go Louisville 78, Virginia 57. That sounds very outlandish, but I think that's right in the range of. I mean, they won by 20 last game. I think Louisville's continued to play a little bit better. I think Virginia's continued to play a little bit worse. You add in the fact that this is a home game for Louisville and that there's, a little bit of added incentive because it is Virginia and it's going to be a big crowd probably on Saturday at noon. So with all that in mind, I'll give Louisville 1 extra point. We'll go 78-57. I like Roman's 23 plus for Chucky Hepburn, and obviously at this point it's a given he's going to have 7 plus assists. If you're of the gambling variety, boys, it's been fun. It's been an adventure.
Glad I could get back on with you guys, fellas. It's been too long. Been busy.
We're the most active on the X. Follow us at Romy Bean, at UVL_updates, at Press Meyer, at the State of Blue, and also follow us on Instagram and soon TikTok. We'll be getting really active on Instagram now. So until next time, let's get out of here. Starting 502 podcast. Go Cards.
Go Cards.
Go Cards.